Hi and welcome to Real Reviews, where I'm going to be talking about the Frasier reboot, which has been doing the rounds for the last couple of weeks on Paramount Plus. Stars the ever youthful Kelsey Grammer, and yeah, and it's got Nicholas Lyndhurst in it as well. So who'd have thunk it? Let's dive into that, shall we? Right, so Paramount Plus made the wise decision to reboot Frasier with Kelsey Grammer. This is a show which, in its original format, it ran for 11 years. It earned itself something in the region of like 30 odd Emmy awards. It won them outright. It was a spin-off from a show called Cheers, which also ran for 11 years. It was a huge deal, and it turned Kelsey Grammer from like a star into a huge TV star. It revolved around Frasier Crane and his brother Niles and his father Martin Crane and their home helper Daphne, played by Jane Leeves. And it was a great show because it had perfect casting, and it had, you know, the characters felt familiar, and it was an American sitcom with irony and with sarcasm, which is a very British trait but doesn't always come through in American sitcoms as a rule. Cheers was the same. And so ultimately what you've got is a reboot of that, but obviously the actor who played, I think it's John Maloney, played Martin Crane. He passed away. David Hyde-White didn't want to do it anymore as Niles, and Jane Leeves has gone on to other things. So you've got a recast. So you've got, I believe it's Cutmore-Smith, is it Cutmore-Smith? Cutmore-Scott. And he was in Oppenheimer, and you've got Nicholas Lyndhurst, who is like the veteran of sitcoms in front of a live audience, having been in Only Fools and Horses, and he plays Alan Cornwall and comes in replacing the Niles character, and ultimately that's what you've got. That is you've got other characters in the periphery, but ultimately that is what this Frasier reboot is built around. So I'm going to move on to the next bit. Let's move on to what actually makes it any good or not. So the chief problem that you've got with this Frasier reboot is the fact that nobody takes any risks. It's a good show. And Nicholas Lyndhurst is very aware that this is Kelsey Grammer's gig, and he is there by the grace of Grammer, if you will, and he does a very, very good job at passing the ball back over the net in terms of a performance, in terms of comic timing, and a lot of the time he outshines Grammer, and he's not really given a great deal to do. The material he's given isn't tremendous, but his timing is absolutely bang on. I mean, you're talking about an actor who was in the most successful British sitcom, maybe arguably bar Fawlty Towers, that's ever been done, and he was opposite David Jason, so he's got this wealth of knowledge and wealth of expertise that he can apply to a live studio situation, and that ultimately over the course of the series is what raises the bar for Frasier. But the thing is that it doesn't do anything new. It doesn't take risks. It doesn't try and play with the formula. All it does is recast and put different people in the same roles and create the same dynamic. So that's my take on Frasier. I'm going to move on to my rating. Let's do that next. Right, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this a 3. I'm going to give this a 3 out of 5 because, you know, it's a good show constructively speaking, but it doesn't try hard enough, and because of that it's quite average, and I'm just not vibing with it. I'm not digging it. I don't get it particularly. It has funny moments, but again, if you've got to go through an episode and a half before you're hitting something which is genuinely funny, and then only then is it going to be like a light chuckle rather than a proper belly laugh guffaw, then for me it's a very well polished, very well produced, well scripted, but incredibly safe reimagining of a you know, a landmark icon character. So it's a 3 out of 5, and even then I'm being generous. So let's move on to that trailer. And so it is that you've reached the end of the Frasier video review. That's the reboot, not the original, which is incredibly disappointing to me. The show, not the video. So this is the bit where I'm going. If you like the video, if you want to see more of them, you want to share them around, give them a like, pop them out to your friends in any way you see fit, then do that. If you want to drop a comment, either good or bad, indifferent, not bothered, don't care. Just want the connection because, hey, I'm a lonely guy. And third and finally, we want you to subscribe. I say we, it's the royal we, it's only me. So if you want to do that, then every Tuesday and every Saturday when I drop another video, what you're going to do is you're going to get a little notification. Then you can drop in and listen to as much or as little of me rambling as you want to. And in the meantime, check out the rest of the videos and we'll talk soon. Take care.